The earth is groaning. Nations are trembling. Sirens scream in cities. Do you know that? Can you imagine? Can you imagine living in a place? Living in a place that louder. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. All right. Hold on one second here. All right. Sound is not loud enough. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix this. All right. Now let's see what we can do with this right here. Then we're going to do this right here. Then we're doing this. And then this. And we got it. I don't know why that changes, to be very honest with you. I have no idea. It always astounds me at technology. Hey, Mooks. Good to see you, brother. I hope you listened to yesterday's on. I was thinking of you. I hope all of you. Hey, Ted. Good to see you. Good to see you, Ted and Robert and Kim. Good morning, Kim. And so many others. How nice. Well, thank you for joining. We've got folks in the Rumble live chat. And we've got folks in the live chat on YouTube. I'm glad to see Rumble growing. I would love for you to also join on Rumble because you never know what's going to happen with the YouTube. So I said the nations are trembling and sirens are screaming in cities where children once played. I want you to think about what must it be like for them? I want you to think about being a little kid. And your life is dealing with never being too far from the bomb shelter. Don't take too long of a shower, moms and dads, because if you do, you might miss the sirens and then you might only have 90 seconds or you might not have any seconds to get to the bomb shelter. Imagine living like that. And they live like that because of Iran. Iran drives everything. They're the number one state sponsor of terror in the world. I mentioned Iran just now, and I want you to understand yesterday, I don't get anything for you listening to it, but I think you'll get something for listening to it. I think it's almost an hour and a half, but I believe it's some of the most important content that you'll ever hear. Can you imagine? You go to your job. You know how people around here, around the West, they are all the time with the earbuds in, right? They're all the time with the earbuds in. It always amazes me when I see women running with earbuds in. Oh, it exasperates me. Please don't do that. Gotta just run with one and keep it down low. But you can't run around Israel with your headphones. You can't listen to your music loud. You can't turn your music up. Because if you miss the warnings, if you miss the sirens, if you miss the text, you talk about having to keep your phone handy. Talk about being linked to your phone and making sure it's charged. How about flashlights and hard sole shoes and all of those things? By the way, folks, if you don't know, in chat, in either Rumble or YouTube, and I see in YouTube now my buddy David Partridge, Mooks. We have been friends for decades. I love that dude. I'm honored that you take the time. I don't know a harder working dude than Dave. He's unbelievable, and I don't know of a better friend. So I just want you to put yourself into the place where you're literally, hi buddy, my little podcast puppy's at my feet. You literally have to live hooked to your phone. Gaza's flattened. I did a show, The Truth About It. Palestine, I did a show about the truth about Islam. I'd encourage you to listen to them either on Rumble or on YouTube. They are very, very important shows. And they give you information I just don't think you're going to get anywhere else. In fact, I know you won't. It's all footnoted. In fact, if you email me at smgreener@gmail.com, it's on the crawl underneath my picture where we tell you what episode times are and days. If you send me that, I'll send you the bibliography and the footnotes. You got to be a subscriber to either one, Rumble and YouTube. I'd love for you to be a subscriber both. Won't kill you. It's free. But not much left of Gaza, understandably. What they did, what Hamas did, and understand, and I talk about this in the teaching about the truth about Islam. I explained to you what happened there in that country. They overwhelmingly elected Hamas. They rejected peace. They rejected getting along. They're driven by the same ideology that Iran, the leadership of Iran. Now the people in Iran, they don't want that. They don't want it, but we can't help it. We can't help that you don't want it. I fully and completely understand that you don't want what's going on. Well, you got to overthrow them. Sorry to tell you, you got to change the regime. Go many levels deep. I talked about that yesterday. Tel Aviv shelters are full. They've told the people in Tel Aviv, do not be more than 90 seconds. A 90 seconds walk. Have hard sole shoes on. If you have a helmet, put it on. Have water. Bring it with you. Be ready to come. If your pet is one that you can't pick up and go readily, well, you're going to have to leave your pet. June 22nd, 2025, the United States has struck nuclear weapons development sites inside Iran in a precision air campaign. We didn't kill a bunch of innocents. Handle our business. The skies lit up above Natanz and Fordo. And the fact of, and Isfahan. And the fact of the matter of it is, they're firing off rockets, killing more Jews in Israel. They've learned nothing. I told you yesterday in the episode yesterday. I cannot more. I so want you to listen to that, because I got to tell you, it informs you on things that you just aren't hearing anywhere else. But I said this on Israeli National Radio when I was honored to be a guest on Israeli National Radio. They said, as a counterterrorism expert, what do you think we need to do about the enemy? What do you think we need to do about Hamas? What do you think we need to do about Iran? And I said, I'm not sure your audience can handle hearing this. And she said, well, that's actually why we had you on. We want to hear what you believe is the only solution or the solution or the best solution. I said, there's only one solution, and that is bomb them to glass. And I'm so sorry for the young children. I'm sorry for that. It is horrible. It is sad. But they're not going to stop until they're eliminated. And they'll rise up again, and you'll have to do it again. Same with Iran. If you don't get rid of all the people that are causing all this, you're going to be dealing with it again and again and again and again. And yet Israel stands, Emkai Israel. This isn't merely a regional tension. This is prophetic upheaval. The earth doesn't merely shake. It groans for justice. Well, what about America? Well, we're divided. We're not just a house divided. We're a people distracted. Digital idols, doctrinal apathy, false gospels, fear dressed as freedom. And in the shadows, darkness waits for the door to crack just wide enough. Israel is under attack. Russia and Iran rise. China waits with bated breath. And the world asks, is this it? Is this the end? No politician can save us. No system will fix us. The seals are breaking. The scroll is being unrolled. So today we open the scrolls. We break the silence. We stop asking the world for answers and fall on our face before the King of Kings, because the question is not, what will the world do next? The real question is, will you stand or will you fall? Now, I want you to listen closely. My dear friend Daniil sent this to me, or tagged me, or whatever it's called. By the way, follow me on X at Dr. Shawn Greener, ShawnGreener, Dr. Dr, and at Truth Social at The Good Doctor, and follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/SM Greener. Blah, blah, blah. I'm everywhere. So on Facebook, my friend Daniil, who I've also known for decades, Imam Hassan, wrote this. She shared this with me, or clicked, so I would see it. Imam Hassan Chachomi of Drancy near Paris. Imam, he's a Muslim, is astonished by what Israel is currently doing in Iran. And he writes this: I, as a son of Ishmael, an imam, a Muslim, a man of peace, hereby present my sincere testimony about this extraordinary people. I must admit, I believe in religions and miracles, but there is something about this people, the people of Israel, that feels like a living miracle. A people of the pharaohs tried to erase 3,000 years ago and failed. A people the Babylonians tried to annihilate 2,500 years ago and failed. A people the Romans tried to wipe out 2,000 years ago and failed. A people the Nazis tried to exterminate 80 years ago and failed to erase. A people the Arabs fought in 5 wars to wipe off the map and failed. This is a small nation in number, but with a unique strength, a divine blessing. Wherever it lays its hand, it succeeds. In finance, in commerce, in science, in philosophy, in literature. A desert land turned into a paradise without oil or gas, but with liberty, democracy, intelligence, and determination. This is a people who gave the world Albert Einstein, Newton, Kafka, Karl Marx, Nietzsche, Spinoza, Freud, and many others who left a mark on humanity. There are realities that neither reason nor logic can explain. There is only one word for it: miracle. For 2.5 years now, this people has been fighting on 5 fronts. They said it was tired, that it was about to collapse, and yet it surprises the world by opening a new front against the Iranian enemy, one that frightens even Arab regimes. This people, though small in number, possesses the courage of the nobles, the wisdom of the prophets, the patience of the righteous, and the determination of survivors. How could it be otherwise when it is known that they are the descendants of Abraham, Solomon, David, Moses, Jacob, Joseph, and 1,523 prophets and emissaries from their lineage? This is a people who brought monotheism and faith in one God to the world, a people driven by a thirst for life, for work, for innovation, and for continuity, a drive that has lasted for 4,000 years. Truly, I find no other word to describe them but a nation of miracles. If the Arabs had clear vision, they would choose to unite with this people, to learn from them, to cooperate with them. Perhaps they would absorb some of their knowledge, wisdom, and dignity. Hassan Khahomi Imam. That's just what I think.
Welcome to True Word, Faith for Life with Dr. Shawn, where in-depth biblical teaching meets the richness of original languages and cultural context, bringing the truth of Scripture to real people for real life every single episode. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and subscribing.
Thank you very much for joining. It means a lot to me. By the way, point your phone camera at the QR code and press the link that pops up on to order my new book today. All of the profits from that go to this ministry, keeping this going and helping to improve and expand. By the way, they don't sponsor this. They don't pay me any money. I'm just an alum whose life was changed by them. Masters International University of Divinity, where serious faith meets serious scholarship. Visit mdivs.edu and mention Dr. Shawn. By the way, that's mdivs, mdivs.edu, and mention Dr. Shawn Greener and this podcast to receive 10% off of your tuition. Don't worry, they'll know who I am. I'm partly to blame for the ones that have to wear glasses, my professors. I'm part of the reason. I wrote a lot. I know it's hard to believe. The sealing of the righteous and the unveiling of the multitude. Wow. Open with me to Revelation chapter 7. Revelation is the very last book in the Bible. It's not Revelations. It's the book of Revelation. Chapter 7. This chapter is the mercy between the judgments, the pause between the seals. Revelation 7:1. After this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth, so that no wind could blow on the land or the sea or on any tree. This is divine restraint. In Hebrew, the word for wind is ruach. Remember, Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh. It also means spirit or breath, nephesh, the Hebrew name that God has for human beings, the being. Literally, it means the being that prays. God's holding back the winds of judgment. There is a temporary stillness before the storm intensifies. Revelation 7:2 through 3, if you're writing these down. Then I saw another angel coming up from the east with a seal from the living God, and he shouted to the 4 angels, "Do not harm the land, the sea, or the trees until we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads." The Greek word for seal here is sphragus. Sphragus, meaning a mark of ownership and protection. This isn't symbolic. In the ancient Near East, sealing indicated covenant identity, authority, and divine security. How about Revelation 7:4, if you're writing these down? I heard how many were sealed, 144,000 from every tribe of the people of Israel. Let me say this clearly. These are literal Jews. They are not the church. They are not Gentile believers. God has not replaced Israel. He is restoring her. This is the remnant. If you're writing these down, Romans 11:5. So it is in the present age too. There is a remnant chosen by grace. Romans 11:29. For God's free gifts and his calling are irrevocable. So now, here comes the shock. After listing the 12 tribes, John, the Revelator, sees something more. Revelation 7:9. After this I looked, and there before me was a huge crowd, too large for anyone to count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language. Look, they were standing in front of the throne and in front of the Lamb. This is the grafted in multitude. Let me read that again. Revelation 7:9 might want to highlight this one because maybe it affects you. After this, and by maybe I mean definitely, After this I looked, and there before me was a huge crowd, too large for anyone to count. You ready for this? Too large for anyone to count. From every nation, tribe, people, and language. That includes you. They were standing in front of the throne and in front of the Lamb. This, my friends, is the grafted in multitude. This is me and you, Jews and Gentiles, Israel and the nations, standing together. This is not replacement theology. This is fulfillment theology. This is covenant theology, but it doesn't end there. Revelation 7:10, and shouting, victory to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. In Hebrew, the word for victory is Yeshua, the same root as the name of our Savior, Yeshua. Well, it doesn't stop there. Revelation 7:13 and 14. These people dressed in white robes, who are they? These are the people who have come out of the great persecution. I am not a person who believes in pre-tribulation rapture. I'm not a pre-trib guy. We will go through tribulation. We are going through tribulation. It's going to get a whole lot worse. Thank God that we have an eternity in heaven to look forward to. They've washed their robes and they've made them white with the blood of the Lamb. This isn't about comfort. This is about cleansing. The Hebrew idea of blood is not gore, but life force. Blood is the life force. These people are made pure through covenant faith, not casual belief. Now, I get it. And we like to go to church. And we like it to feel good. We like to enjoy, the vibe. We like for it to be something fun. We like a lot of programs. We like a lot of stuff. And we just really, really, by the way, hello to all the new people listening. I'm so touched by that. There's so many new folks listening. It's just wonderful to have you. Wonderful to have you. Very, very blessed. You see, the thing is, there's people, and I'm not always able to go to church. Physically, I'm not able to go to church all the time. Not as much as I'd like. We've got a lot of things, working hearing aids that we're getting fine-tuned so I can actually hear what's happening. I can hear we're in a gym, concrete gym, hard floor, concrete block walls, very tall ceiling, no sound insulation. It's really, really difficult for me to hear. All I hear is noise. And it's, a guy with brain injury, that's just like, it makes you vibrate. Anyway, so when our new building is built, it's going to be well insulated. I'll be able to hear, and it'll be perfect. I miss the people. I still see a bunch of them. But the point is, I'm not able to go all the time. But we have many different technologies to cover those times in between. So I get to watch live on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. Love it. Love those people. But what I'm referring to here is just a casual belief, something you haven't really thought about. Yeah, I believe in God, sort of, yeah. I mean, I wear a cross. I mean, right? That's good. I try to be a good person, right? That's good. No. Listen, times are happening. Stuff is happening. I'm not saying that you'll see in one of the bars in the lower right. It's my lower right. I don't know how you see it. Something sacred. It's a Heschel quote. Something sacred hangs in the balance of every moment. Everything that we do, the getting together with the people of faith that are in our lives and expanding our faith and studying the Word. What you're doing now, investing time. I'm honored by it. I'm humbled by it. You got a million things to do. You're going to listen to some putts on YouTube and Rumble. You know what I mean? And thank you, by the way, all of the places we're streaming. We're streaming to many different places, and also to our Spotify audience, iHeartRadio, iTunes, all the ones, all of those things. Please click on thumbs up, click on follow, and maybe leave a review. That'll move us up the charts there, and more people will get to hear. That's just how the algorithm works. So here's the promise, Revelation 7. If you're writing these down, Revelation 7, 15 through 17. That is why they are before God's throne. Never again will they be hungry or thirsty. The Lamb at the center of the throne will shepherd them and wipe away every tear from their eyes. I want you to take a pause. I want you to take a deep cleansing breath. Breathe that in. Breathe that in. You'll never be hungry again. You'll never be thirsty again. And you'll never have unrequited grief ever again. You'll never feel that. Look around at the world today. Israel is under attack. America is fractured. There's a whole part of America, people we've allowed into America who are sucking up our financial resources. They're doing that on purpose. That's part of their strategy, to take the money, to take the resources. This is what is happening. Amen. Nicole, spot on. Being united with others gives us strength, but it also helps us stay accountable. Iron sharpens iron. Obedience is love. Amen. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. That's how important obedience is. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard. There are a lot of people in this country, in America. If you're listening from another country, I don't mean to eliminate you, but I know in America we are experiencing all of these people that have come in. Many of them have been, under the last 4 years, 20 million at least, and many of those are horrifically criminal and violent. That is reality. That's reality. These people are here. These people are here, and they are from all kinds of places that don't love us. President Trump was correct, 100% correct. Nations emptied their jails, emptied their mental institutions, their asylums. Yeah. Murderers, rapists, sex offenders of every stripe. People who have murdered as many as 23 people, they just said, go on. Go to America. I'll give you money. I'll give you a phone. And I'm not saying it all falls to them either, because there are people in the streets that were born here. Sadly, they're mostly white, dumb white people. Oh, yeah, they've been to Ivy League schools. They've had all the training. They've got the degrees out the wahoo. And wahoo or Yahoo? Wahoo. I don't know. I don't want to go too deep on that one. You know what I'm saying? Out the yin-yang, somebody said. They got all these degrees, these proofs of being educated, but certainly not wise. Many of them are being paid. They are terror groups. They're not protesting, they are rioting. You spray paint one thing, you're a rioter. You throw one thing, you're a rioter. Strike one match, you're a rioter. You block one road, you're a rioter. We know this, America is fractured. Iran, Russia, and terror groups are on the move, and many are asking, where is God? Where is God? Reasonable question. Let's be fair. It's a reasonable question, right? Everything has fallen apart, it seems. Everything is crazy. And we just can't figure out why. We're like, why is all this happening? And we say to ourselves, we look at those crazy people who are doing all these crazy, horrible things, and we say, why would you want to destroy America? Why would you want to do these things? We've got people claiming to be another gender when clearly they are not. We've got males that want to compete in female sports. And there's a small remnant that's actually protesting this. And there's conversations in the Supreme Court of the United States of America between grown folk with advanced degrees trying to define it. When is it okay to give your child a series of drugs over the course of years that destroy their ability to ever have children if they're a girl or if they're a boy? They're debating. They're actually having this debate about cutting the breasts off of a female, a young kid, and saying, well, when is too young? The kid can't vote. The kid can't go in the military, can't buy alcohol. But, oh yeah, the child can surely define. I saw an interview yesterday during one of these protest riot. Woman was interviewed, her and her partner were interviewed, and they said, yeah, our daughter told us at a year and a half that she was a girl. She knew. Year and a half. What am I going to wear today? My Spider-Man outfit or my Batman outfit? What do I want today? Do I want smushed bananas or smushed peas? What do I want to do today? Do I want to, come on. They can't decide any of those things. And yet, oh yeah, they knew. They knew. These are nut job people. These are people, severely mentally disturbed people. And we're having these arguments as though it's reasonable. We have people approaching us and saying, no, you're going to call me by my preferred pronouns. We've got people, their email signature goes by he, her, or he, him, or she. I mean, they, them. Come on, this is insanity, my friends. This is insanity. We have a Hamas attacking Israel, innocent citizens. You say, well, they killed innocent citizens. Listen, there's a big difference between having no choice, it being the only choice. Hamas uses people as weapons. Israel uses weapons to protect their people. Big difference. You say, where is God? A country like Iran, they want to eliminate the world. Please go back and listen to my message from yesterday about Iran. Please go back and listen to that. I can't encourage you more to go back and listen to that. That'll answer the question, why? These are people that are a cult of death. You say, where is God? You see people like Putin in Russia. Why mess with the people in Ukraine? Why mess with people in other places? Just leave them alone. You got the biggest country by landmass in the world. You want more? China, Xi. North Korea, Kim. You look at these people and you say, what's wrong with you? And you conclude things are so messed up. Where is God? Titus 2:11 through 12. The grace of God has appeared to all, so we can say no to ungodliness and worldly passions, to live self-controlled, godly lives in the world today. Be aware and prepare. Thank you, Nicole. That's one sharp lady. Here's your answer. He is sealing his own. He is preparing the harvest. He is allowing the shaking, but he is never off the throne. You are not called to fear. You are not called to anxiety. You are called to faith. You are not called to rage. You're not called to uncontrolled anger. You're called to readiness. You're called to being prepared. By the way, buy my latest book. The QR code's up there, or go to lulu.com, LULU.com. Search Dr. Shawn Michael Greener, SHAWN. Michael, normal spelling. Greener, as in the grass as always. Any of the profits that we get, we don't have profits yet, but any of the profits we get, we put back into the show. We put back into our mission, put back into sending out Bibles. We put back into helping people as we can. So I ask you this. Are you sealed? Or are you simply scrolling? Are you watching world events like a spectator at a disaster movie? Or are you on your knees saying, Hineni, Here I am, Lord. And I say this word, this Hebrew word, Hineni, not by accident, but intentionally. Hineni is one of the most powerful and intimate words in the Hebrew Bible, and it means, here I am. Hineni, here I am. But it carries so much more than just location. I'm here. Drop a pin, take your phone. Drop a pin. Oh, location, blah, 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 pin. That helps the person that you're trying to, meet up with to find you. I'm not talking about dropping a pin here. Location or presence. Hineni is a heart posture. It's not just I'm here, but I am fully present. I am fully surrendered, ready to listen, and ready, most importantly, ready to obey. It's the cry of someone who says to God, I am yours. Use me. We have biblical examples of Hineni. I'm going to give you to these quick. I know you're busy Monday and all. I'm going to give them to you real quick. I know, listen to me, especially the ones that have to look at me, that can wear you out. Trauma. We have Abraham, Genesis 22:1. If you're writing these down, Abraham, Genesis 22:1. And God said to him, Abraham, and he said, Hineni. Here I am, God. Use me. Moshe, Exodus 3:4. God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses, and he said, Hineni. By the way, he didn't say Moses, he said Moshe. Moses is not Moshe. Moshe is his name, but Moses was close, so we go into that one. And I talk about this in my book. I talk very in depth about this. I give you what each name actually is with the book of the Bible, and I give you the Hebrew behind it and the whole deal. Anyway. It's not a comprehensive commentary, but it's my commentary. Isaiah 6:8, if you're writing these down, then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, Hineni, send me. Why does this matter so much in this teaching? Hineni is covenant language. Covenant language. It represents the response of someone whose heart is aligned with God's purposes, even before knowing the cost. It's the posture Moses had when he brought the carved stone tablets, as I spoke of in the last episode, not the last one, the one before that. It's the posture Yeshua had in Gethsemane, as I taught about in Jesus Who, Tortured for Love. It's the posture we're called to when we say, yes, Lord, before knowing the outcome. We ask how high on the way up. Lord says, jump. We don't, well, how high you want me to jump? Well, you want me to jump my feet together, my feet spread apart, kicking a little bit? Or do you want me to take a running jump? What do you want me to do? No. Lord says, jump. And we ask how high on the way up. The nations are shaking, but the kingdom cannot be shaken. Revelation 7 is not about survival. It's about surrender. And the question is, are you surrendered? Now is not the time to coast. It's time to commit. I saw an interesting thing yesterday. I'm a racing fan. I like watching Formula One, and I like watching, hey, Linda, good to see you. By the way, hello to everybody in chat and everybody, both chats. I'm watching the chats, very vibrant, very kind, and very friendly. I see other podcasts, and I look at the chat, and I'm appalled. I've actually taught in other places and in other podcasts, and I'm privy to the chat, and I just can't believe it's like they're not even listening, and they have their own thing. It's like this is just a meeting place, but our chat is full of amazing people. And I saw this thing. So I watch Formula One and I watch IndyCar. Very different. They look very similar, but they're very different. Formula One are the most advanced cars in the world. Millions and millions of dollars each. And Indy cars are very advanced, but they have a certain design, and they kind of buy from one or two sources to keep the cost as low as possible. It's still very expensive. It's nowhere near as sophisticated as Formula One. Formula One is more global. IndyCar is in this country, the United States. But the fact of the matter of it is, the IndyCar, they race. They really, really race. They get into stupid crashes. I don't love the crashes, but they get into crashes and they do some stupid stuff sometimes. And to be honest, I'm appalled sometimes at some of the stuff that happened in this year's Indy 500. Those are Indy cars. A pit crew guy got caught on fire. It was a mistake on the part of the driver, Schwartzman, I think, from Israel, and he slid into his pit and says he went for his brakes and his brakes didn't work, which absolutely could happen. Heather, I'm glad you can listen live today too. Good to see you. So I watched this and it's just such very different. It's so completely different racing. Formula One, very sophisticated, literally the most technologically advanced cars in the world. They are very fast. They are very fragile. And those cars, they don't like them to get close. It's a much more highly regulated racing. There's not any beating and banging. There's not wheels banging. When that happens, boy, somebody's getting in trouble. And yet, when there's crashes in both of them, it's horrific. I say that to say this. In the race yesterday, a guy that really he's an incredible racer. He's truly one of the greats. He, it was a fuel mileage issue. So all the cars that, and he's known as a master of fuel mileage. And so he's coasting wherever he can. Wherever he can, he's coasting. There were some that were so close on fuel, they shut their engine off and prayed to God they could restart their engine. This is during yellows when there's a caution. And there were many cars that barely finished. Some didn't finish. All ran out of gas. All ran out of fuel. You can coast, a lot and think that's going to get you, but it's not. It's not. Now's not the time to coast. Not in this geopolitical and faith world or absence thereof that we live in. It's time to commit. Now is not the time to be casual. It's the time to be consecrated. The blood of the Lamb it's not an accessory. Like if you wear a cross, by the way, I don't begrudge you if you wear a cross. Oh, Ted, you saw F1 live in Shanghai 12 years ago. Oh, that's my dream to see Formula One live. I've seen IndyCar live. It's incredible. It's incredible. Anyway, by the way, World of Outlaws, sprint car racing on dirt. You want to see something crazy? Whew. You think those cars are going to go flying off the track. They don't. I don't know how they do it. Same with IndyCar, same with Formula One. It's insane. You don't know the speed until you're there. On the corners. They'll go 140 miles an hour on a corner. At Indy, they go flat out there. And they'll drop down to maybe 220, 218 on the corner. That's insane. It's like this. It's a corner like this. Don't know how they do it. Fun to watch. Loud. Better bring your little earplugs and then your over the earplugs and do all you can because it's incredibly loud. So when I say the blood of the Lamb's not an accessory, like I wear this. I have two things here. I have one thing that was a gift from Miss Colleen, and the inscription actually, because I've worn it so long, 22 years or thereabouts, it has kind of worn off the inscription. But then this other thing I have is medical alert, right? Same information here. You scan it. You put your camera on the little code. The EMTs know to do it. And then my whole medical history, boom, pops right up for them. So if I'm unconscious, which most likely I will be, they have the information they need on me. David says, I've seen you do 140 miles an hour through a corner in your old neon. Them were the days. Samantha says, my hubby is obsessed with Formula One and IndyCar. Phew, me too. Me too. I also watch MotoGP. MotoGP is the Formula One of motorcycles, and you want to talk about insane. 59-degree lean angles, 62-degree lean angles. Seems impossible. So when I say the blood of the lamb is not an accessory, I wear this as an accessory. I have for Father's Day, my daughter and son-in-law and my two grandsons gave me this little bracelet because she saw that I like these little things. These are, I think, coral or some kind of thing. Podcast Puppy likes to chew on them. But then there's this little thing that has the name. I won't say them on the air, but oldest grandchild and then 3-month-old grandchild right here. And then this is from Seahag Marina, Steenhatchee, Florida. My friend sent this to me. I love it. Very sweet. Very, very sweet. Today is a day I don't actually have on a Seahag Marina shirt. That's hard to believe. So these are accessories. But the blood of the Lamb isn't an accessory. It's your only access to the throne. If you're sealed by Yeshua, then you have nothing to fear. And look, I want to say this. I want to be clear on this. I understand fear and anxiety. I understand being shot. I understand being shot at, first-person experience. I understand being blown out of a building, first-person experience. I understand people pointing guns at you, trying to stab you, all these things, first-person experiences. I understand it all. I understand completely being next to someone who dies, who is killed. I understand all of those things. Those are experiences that I've had. I understand experiences where people have horrific things happen to them in my direct proximity. I understand it. I understand fear, but anxiety in this world, especially in the U.S., is so prevalent. Well, I have anxiety. Well, I have ADHD. I have this, I have that. And they've told you need to have a label for these things so that you can be labeled, so you can fit into some group. We can break down you by your thing, and then there's your group, there's your people. I'm not saying it's not real in many, many people. Not saying that. I'm not saying obsessive compulsive disorder isn't real. Had that for a while. Miss Colleen can tell you stories you wouldn't believe. Some of my friends that were in some of my places, the old place I used to live, they would tell you. I get it. I get that you see Israel and you see the bombing. In fact, some of the Americans that came back from Israel, they were finally able to get flights. They came back from Israel, and while all this is going on, and they said, I don't know how these people, I went to the closest bomb shelter to where I was, and these people are smiling and laughing and then singing praises to God and praying and all of these things, playing cards, laughing. Ted is right. You can be numbered. You have a pill for that. We have a pill for that. Yeah, exactly. Listen, I get it. We're worried about Putin. He's a nut job. Many levels down, nut jobs. Russian people are amazing people. I've spent a lot of time with them. Amazing people. Love them. The Chinese people, not the Chinese Communist Party, amazing people. Love them. The people of Iran, I know many of them, love them. Their leadership, nut jobs. Just total and complete nut jobs. And I could give countless other examples. It is easy to look at what's happening in the world and be anxious, to be afraid. But listen, if you are sealed in Yeshua, if you're sealed by Yeshua, if you've placed your faith in Yeshua, then you have nothing to fear. That's not some cavalier statement that I'm making. You will not be shaken. You will be shepherded. And one day your tears will be wiped away by the very hand that was pierced for you. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that day? I can. I can imagine it. And it is a powerful thing. By the way, I hope you'll consider joining me as you see the stream going across the crawl. They're telling you our podcast times. Our next scheduled time, we may do another one in between. Our next scheduled time is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. This is not you don't want to miss this one. If I'm able to deliver this, some world event may happen. I may do something different, but the bottom line is, wow, so much is happening. But I have lots of things I want to share with you, and I'm super excited about it. Super, super excited about it. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd love it if you're not a subscriber or a follower. Follow on Rumble uses the term follow, and they have a little bell. You click on all notifications, and then YouTube has subscriber, and then click on the little bell and click on the thumbs up. When you click on the little bell on YouTube, it'll ask for all. That way, if I send a post out, like a written post out, or I put the study guide or whatever in there, or whatever, I may make an announcement of some sort, you won't know unless you're a subscriber and you've clicked on all notifications. And I'm not going to spam you. First of all, I don't know how to do that. Anyway. Then finally, I want to point to one thing. If you can see the thumbnail, I'm learning how to use these image creation and create it all. There's some people that are great at it. I'm very new at it, and I'm learning. But in that, you'll notice when we did part 1 of this episode, there were the different color horses, right? And on this one, they're all white, far as you can see. And then up in the left, you see an angel blowing the trumpet, and you see Yeshua riding in on the white horse. And then you see sublimated over to the right, my right, the Israel flag. And then just below and in front of the horses, you see the Lion of Judah victoriously with the crown of thorns in his mouth. He won over the grave, and you can win over the worry.
Thanks for tuning in to True Word, Faith for Life with Dr. Shawn, teaching the Bible as it was meant to be understood for a life that truly matters. Join us next time for more life-changing truth. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and subscribing.